the missing hiker. The air was calm inside the modest studio of WXRO Channel 7, nestled deep in rural Idaho. It was just past 6 p.m. The local news rolled along predictably, background chatter for families prepping dinner or winding down after work. Veteran meteorologist Tom Ellery stood beneath the studio's glowing weather map, ready to deliver the week's forecast. He was beloved locally, more for his corny weather puns than his accuracy. As the live camera zoomed in, Tom gave his usual warm smile. But something shifted. The monitor behind him, normally showing satellite data, crackled into static. Viewers assumed a brief technical hiccup, common in rural feeds. But the static didn't fade. Then the screen abruptly cut to a different video, grainy black and white, handheld, almost like found footage. It showed a densely wooded area covered in fog. The camera was shaky, as if someone was holding it while walking. Then it stopped. Fixed on something, someone. A man stood in the clearing. Still silent. He looked directly at the camera. Pale, gaunt, clothing torn and damp. He didn't blink. His mouth slightly parted, as if mid-sentence, or scream. The only sound was the low rustle of wind and faint, unintelligible whispering. The live broadcast froze on the man's face for 13 long seconds before abruptly cutting back to Tom. But Tom wasn't speaking. He stood frozen, his face pale, mouth slightly open in disbelief. The station immediately cut to commercial. Local forums and Facebook pages exploded with speculation. And within hours, the video had been reposted hundreds of times. One comment stuck out. "That looks like Caleb Denton. I swear to God, that's him." Caleb Denton had been missing for over 3 years. A 26-year-old avid hiker, he vanished in the Sawtooth Mountains, just 40 miles from the studio. His last phone ping had come from a secluded section of the trail near Twin Lakes. 2 days after the broadcast, law enforcement confirmed. The forest shown in the interruption was just a mile from that last ping location. And the man? His features closely resembled Caleb's missing persons photo. But the clip was never found on any server. WXRO's internal systems had no record of the interruption. No timestamp. No file. It hadn't come from their equipment. To this day, no one knows who, or what, hijacked the signal. Caleb Denton's body was never found. But the man in the video looked alive. 3 months later, in Greenville, South Carolina, another interruption would shake an entire community. Greenville Academy, a high-performing magnet middle school, produced a daily student-run morning show. It was a tradition, light-hearted updates, jokes, and birthdays read aloud from a small studio inside the school. On March 15th, 8th grader Layla Harrison nervously adjusted her microphone as the red, on-air, light lit up. "Good morning, Greenville. Today is Science Fair Day," she began. Her voice, though slightly shaky, was steady. But behind her, something flickered. Instead of the school's looping B-roll footage, the screen behind her cut to what looked like a live hallway camera, a static shot of a narrow corridor rarely used anymore, lined with old lockers and unused classrooms. The lighting was dim. A single fluorescent light buzzed overhead. For a moment, it seemed like nothing unusual. Movement. A figure stepped into frame. It was tall, inhumanly thin. Its steps were slow, deliberate, with an unnatural limp. The hallway light flickered again, and for a brief second, its face was visible. Smooth. No eyes. No mouth. No features. It stopped and looked directly into the camera. In a nearby classroom, a student screamed. Layla, still on air, froze mid-sentence. The control room tried switching back, but the figure remained on screen for 10 more seconds before the broadcast cut to static. The school erupted into chaos. Teachers rushed to shut off projectors. Hallway security footage was checked. But no camera existed in that part of the building. At least, not one that should have been broadcasting. Administrators called the police. Every hallway was searched. Nothing was found. 4 days, parents pulled their children from school. Rumors spread like wildfire. Was it a prank? A hoax? Something more? Layla never returned to the anchor desk. When asked later, she said only, "I don't think it was meant for me. I think it was meant for all of us. The footage was never recovered. Security experts couldn't explain where the feed came from. And according to building schematics, that hallway surveillance system had been offline for over 2 years. Still, every morning since, a few students claimed to catch a brief flicker, just a few frames, of that hallway before the announcements begin. On July 18, 2024, at 9:37 p.m., televisions across Portland, Oregon, were interrupted. Households were tuned into reruns, game shows, or local news. Then, darkness. The screen went black. A high-pitched tone screamed across speakers. The emergency alert system had activated. But instead of a familiar robotic voice or weather warning, bold red text appeared. Emergency alert system, non-human female entity identified, Portland Metro Zone. Confused viewers watched as the screen shifted to grainy footage from what looked like a home security camera. A dimly lit living room. A woman sat on a couch brushing her hair. The TV flickered behind her. Then, in the reflection, another figure appeared, looming behind the couch. Unmoving. Humanoid but not human. Its eyes were glowing white. The woman continued brushing her hair, unaware of the presence behind her. Then, as if sensing something, she paused, slowly turned her head, and the screen cut to static. After 45 seconds, the broadcast resumed its normal programming. No explanation was given. The city erupted in panic. 911 received hundreds of calls. Social media exploded with the hashtag #PortlandAlert. But when questioned, the Emergency Management Office denied issuing any alert. No records existed. They called it a signal malfunction. But private cybersecurity analysts weren't convinced. They traced the signal origin to a remote server, an isolated location 70 miles outside the city. Publicly, no such facility existed there. What terrified them most, however, wasn't the broadcast's origin. It was the final frame. One user enhanced the time code in the corner of the security footage. It was dated 4 minutes in the future. Some called it a hoax. Others, time loop. Conspiracy forums speculated wildly. But within a week, a Reddit user posted a blurry image. The same couch. Same painting on the wall. Same flickering TV. It was pulled from a missing persons database, a listing for a woman named Carla Simmons, last seen July 18, just hours before the broadcast. She was never found. Each event, though separated by months and states, shared chilling similarities. Unauthorized footage. Real-time interruption. Vanishing people. Local authorities dismissed each as hoaxes or isolated technical glitches. But among fringe researchers and deep web investigators, a different theory emerged. Someone, or something, is using live broadcasts as a gateway. A way to transmit moments not just across networks, but across time. Maybe even dimensions. These broadcasts didn't just show victims. Some believe they initiated their disappearances. From a hiker lost in the woods, to a faceless figure in a school hallway, to a woman who disappeared minutes after her reflection was caught, each interruption felt like a warning. But a warning of what? In the age of viral media, we assume everything we see is curated, filtered, safe. But sometimes, the scariest videos aren't horror films or ARGs. They don't come from YouTube pranksters or short films. They come live. When no one expects them. When the entire world is watching.